Kyle, you got a show. You got many shows. You got the show where you look right into the camera. You have the show where you like talk to the rest of us while looking into the camera.
Yeah.
You think people would be sick of your opinions by this point?
Yeah.
Do you think people know what your favorite games of the year are? You think they can just pick them? They're like, okay, let's do it.
When I had my video, the final Bosman was called 2014 Bossy Awards. I want somebody to think, oh, he's going to do an award show. I wonder what his favorite game is. And there are even like comments are just like, man, I wish he was like take this seriously for once and tell us his favorite. So yeah, I mean, people know. They probably know it's Tropical Freeze. That's my game of the year.
I actually just want to point out, I don't want to lift the curtain too much on our process. We actually had a lot of comments. People came in and like we were watching us deliberate. They're like, you should put this on the web. We're like, no. Like we don't. I mean, one reason why is that would take a ton of time to put all those videos together, and it's more time than we have. But a lot of times it was like, okay, what's the popular vote? All right, let's lock that in. And you would just kind of in the corner be like, for the record, I vote for Tropical Freeze. Like, for the record, I vote for Smash Brothers. We're just like, all right.
I wanted it to be known. Yeah.
But I think that's great. I think you had, I just talked to Mr. Damiani, who clearly has very concise opinions about what he thinks is good or bad in this industry.
Yeah.
But how did that feel to really be talking about a lot of games that people weren't talking about, to appreciate some games on a level that's something like Tropical Freeze? You think of, what, Donkey Kong Country, really? And it's like, it's not because I'm super biased. It's because this is just, they've taken this model of platformer and they nailed it. There's nothing bad I can say about it.
Yeah, it is that. It's I'm aware it's hard to explain. I'm aware that there's not much I can do for anyone who hasn't played it to explain at this point why this is the best game that came out this year. I can just only like express my love for it, and I'm comfortable with that. Do you know what I mean? I'm okay with GameTrailers.
You're comfortable expressing your love for Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
The two of you have a relationship that we might not understand.
He's a fantastic character. Speaks 0 words, and still I get more out of him than most any other game that was released this year. Just like the way he'll react to things is just hilarious. I'm laughing out loud at 0 dialogue, but just a gorilla reacting to things in his own world naturally as he would. It's all so good.
And great that he can exist in this time and place. Like you think about the original Donkey Kong. It's like the joke. Like, isn't that when we always talk about people that are 10, 20, 30 years older than us, and they're just like, well, I don't play video games, but I did play Pong. I remember that Donkey Kong, and it's like, you can still remember the Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's kicking ass. Like, Donkey Kong had an action figure that came out this year that works in tandem with, some video games they released that's selling like hotcakes.
I would call it a figure, but not an action figure.
Well, I'm sorry. Is the correct terminology there? You can't call those things action. I guess
action,
joints. It's got to move, or it's got to have a weapon or something that goes with it. Okay, a figure, a playable figure, he's in kicking butt in Smash Brothers, and he's got Donkey Kong Country. It's a huge year for Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
This character that by definition is like the benchmark of the beginning of this industry.
I think
the industry, not games themselves, but like the business of games.
I think Rare saved Donkey Kong. In a weird way. They made him the guy who has his fists on the ground. I saw a Lego Donkey Kong, like Mega Bloks. It was some stupid off-brand. But his fists didn't touch the ground, and I'm like, that's wrong. That's not Donkey Kong. Your fists need to touch the ground. It's such an important part of his character. So it's just like Rare did that. Before he was just kind of like, he's got a big oval mouth, little plus signs in the middle. But I feel like this is that version of Donkey Kong,
It's interesting. Yeah, Mario is way more connected to the Mario from the Donkey Kong and like the Mario and Luigi days than Donkey Kong is. That's almost like a totally different character.
I liked that Mario a lot more, though. He at least had character.
Because like Bowser's a villain, but we don't think about Donkey Kong. Was he just misunderstood, the original DK?
Yeah,
when he kidnapped Peach and started chucking barrels, like he just had a bad day? Or
Donkey Kong 2, you are Donkey Kong Jr. saving Donkey Kong in a cage.
That's right.
While Mario's just there.
They had a bad history, they really had a lot of like skeletons to get out of their closet in the 70s and 80s, and then they made peace. Smash helped, and now they golf and they play tennis and they have a good time together.
Donkey Kong does not appear in Mario games. Mario does not appear in Donkey Kong. Like they're cool with each other, but they do not like each other.
Speaking of other games, anything else on your list? Should we just put Tropical Freeze on the headline?
Please do.
Let's talk about Tropical Freeze for 10 minutes.
It's so good. It's just everything I love about like when I can like say, oh, I love this about a video game. I love that it has a world, that I feel like I'm in a world. That's one of my favorite things to do in video games is to be in a world. I'm in that. And
because you got to get to that next ledge. You're like, oh, that ledge is really tough to get through. But I know that past that ledge is more of the stuff that I want to see.
Yeah, but also it like makes sense. It's not like like a weird little like super hard indie platform. It's like Super Meat Boy's best platform. It's like Super Meat Boy means nothing. Those are all just like weird little video game levels that were created in a level creator. This to me feels like a world. And so yeah, it's still super hard. There's still platforming that's incredibly difficult, but it's in a place that matters and makes sense and it all seems natural. And the music's so good.
Not sure we had to throw Meat Boy under the bus there to make that point, but okay, I'll accept it.
I think yeah. It's one of those. It's another one of those things where
More games.
Like,
More games.
Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes.
Wow, on Damiani's poop list.
Yeah,
on
it's
his
on a lot of poop
disappointing
lists.
list.
It's definitely on a lot of poop lists. It's on my top 2 list. That's my second favorite game I played this year.
Because of your experience, did you have a singular experience where you just went through it once, or did you keep playing it and that was kind of like the breadth of the world and your options? Like that's really what made you excited?
I only played through the main mission once. It was those thing where you go home, you bring your ottoman up close to the TV, and you turn off all the lights, and you're just there, and you're in that, and that felt so good, that first night. And I mean, that's what it was. Ground Zeroes is that first night. There's nothing, like I played the bonus missions, but they're all kind of weird because they don't take place in the actual universe.
Right.
They're all stupid side stories that don't
No,
actually happen.
in that is very important for me. That's why I love open world games so much. Is like I really like when I play even something like Last of Us, which I adore. But like when I play something like Last of Us, it's like okay, I'm in an experience. I'm not in a world. Like I'm in this movie experience that they really want me to go in that direction. Whereas when I play something like even like Sleeping Dogs or like Grand Theft Auto or Far Cry 4, you know, it's like I can step back and look, and it's like the birds flying around in the vehicles and everything. It's just fun to like see that world breathe.
Yeah.
So I can see just even
watching
watching guards go around in Ground Zeroes.
Every guard has a different face.
That's a big deal.
Every guard is a person in there.
I really appreciate that stuff.
Yeah. And I think like we take it we take for granted like how good that opening is because they put it out as a trailer. Just that whole thing where we're like following Skullface around and the music just like here's to you, Nicola and just like how this feels. Like there's feelings out of that. It's like doing things that most video games don't even bother to do or couldn't. You know what I mean? Couldn't even like think to do something musically interesting. And so, like, yes, thank you for like crafting a thing that like makes me feel, gosh, the end of it is intense.
I haven't touched this game.
Yeah.
I actually have a copy of this game given to me by, guess.
Hideo Kojima.
Yes, in person.
Yeah,
I bumped into him at Comic-Con.
You really need to try this. You're like, maybe a little while.
I actually totally passed to Hideo Kojima at Comic-Con. I was walking, and he just walked around me, just another dude in the crowd. Nobody was looking at him or like, oh my God, it's Hideo Kojima. And
Two dudes
just, like,
passing in the crowd.
Smiled like, I should have like stopped him and been like, where's my game? Mike Huber was like, Ground Zeroes, Jones, what are you doing? You got to play this. And I still...
Didn't work.
I got it, yeah. It's sitting on my desk at home, and I haven't made time for it. Let's try to get one more. I got a flag from Ian that we're running a little bit long.
PT.
Let's try to get one more game.
Number
in.
3 is PT.
Wow, these are some interesting games.
PT, to me, is a
You hate horror? You hate scary games?
Hate scary games.
We forced you to play this game. You would not be talking about... Would you be talking about PT right now had you not played it on Halloween?
I think so, because I still like the historical significance of PT, but like that was a Halloween miracle. We played it, it was really late on Halloween, we were streaming, the chat said, come on, you gotta play PT, and we're like, oh, I don't want to, and so I downloaded it. We spent probably 40 minutes at that last phase trying to talk to it, just chattering at it. Brandon's like, it's Halloween, I'm a married man, let me go home. And we said, okay, but before you go, Brandon, just put on the headset. You spoke to it, you said one sentence, I think.
No, I said a bunch. I was constantly, because the joke was that it was not an Xbox, and I love the Xbox, and so I was like, I'm waiting for this on Xbox.
Phone rings.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa, when is PT coming to the Xbox?
And the phone rings. Oh my gosh.
You've been chosen, Kyle Bosman.
But I mean, then you see a trailer for Silent Hills, a game that was not even hinted at. Nobody knew that was in development.
And I love music and the way that the music comes in right under the title. Oh my God, you know.
Yeah. Guillermo del Toro was working
that,
on this. You didn't know that. Who knew that? Nobody. Oh my gosh.
No, yeah, and I'm the founder and editor in chief of GameTrailers. So like a playable, crazy trailer announcement that could potentially negate trailers at all. It's like you who make video trailers.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Because we had like interactive trailers. Like Dying Light actually just had a cool interactive trailer that you can mess around with. But this was a hell of an interactive trailer. And it's tough because actually if you guys are watching, I don't know when certain things will come up, but you'll notice PT a lot come up in our awards And every time we were like writing segments or I was reading the name PT out loud, I was like, wow, a lot of people are going to be surprised. PT? PT is a demo, PT? And it's not so much, it's not all about adding up modes, adding up weapons, adding up characters, and figuring out how much time did I put into something. It's looking back at the year, putting every single box art and game name up on a wall, and realizing, like, that was really important to me.
Yeah.
Like, that thing right there was a huge deal. Like, that was a big thing, whether it was how much that impacted me personally, like how much that made my brain explode thinking about what we could do later in this industry with that model. But just like how many people around the office were talking about that, you know, like something as amazing as Bayonetta 2, which I find, you know, people are saying is like one of the best action games of the year, if not one of the best action games ever created. It's like 3 people in the office played it, you know, 3 or 4,
myself included.
Whereas like everyone was touched by PT, everyone had their hand in it, or was like, you know what I want to say about PT, you know, and like that can't be ignored when something like that resonates so much.
It's huge
with a
huge
group
game.
of gamers.
Short game, but huge game. There was that period of time where we all saw the trailer, but still nobody knew how to beat it. Nobody knew how to get to it for so long. And it's just, no, you just have to talk into the headset. Nobody still knows what to do.
15 minutes, 3 games. Congratulations, Kyle. You were you're the greatest windbag of the GameTrailers employee picks.
And you started this
in
by
less
saying,
time, Daniel Bloodworth and I got through both of our titles.
And the way you started this was, Kyle, you have plenty of time in front of the camera.
You don't. I'm cutting you off. You heard it here. My New Year resolution: make Kyle shut up more. We're done.